Hey everybody. So I'm going to take you through a quick walkthrough about what we're going to be doing with a shared reading of this blog post by Larry Cuban. Here's his blog, and the article we're asking you to read and then collaboratively and collectively responding to using an annotation tool is Continuum on Personalized Learning. So the contention here is that Cuban went to 11 different schools in Silicon Valley, and he was looking to see how they were enacting personalization within the school. And then he's sort of synthesizing all of those experiences on a continuum of what he's seeing as they define that through that enactment. So instead of just having you come here and read this and blog about it, we are going to be using an annotation tool called Hypothesis. Quick shout out to Peter Nichols for reminding me about this. He's used it in the past, and I have as well. And so we're going to give it a shot. So the idea is that this article is in some ways meant, as most writing is, to be a conversation. And so when we have added an overlay of hypothesis on that, we can highlight and then add embedded comments, questions, further thinking, links out to other resources that might help us to think differently or elaborate upon what we're learning from that shared reading. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay. When you come to hypothesis, you might want to take just a second to look down here at this, see how it works, this interactive piece, because any text that you highlight, you can go ahead and add a note, and it sort of shows you what I'm going to be demonstrating in just a minute. Okay. So the idea is that you select a piece of text from that post and comment on it. So I'm going to log in here, but you're going to go ahead, if you don't have a Hypothesis account, and get started so that you can create the setup. It's a free login. Then you can log in this way. The other piece before I get right into the tool is I want to show you up in the right-hand corner here, I've got a little Chrome extension, and that's a Hypothesis Chrome extension as well. So I can activate this whenever I want to highlight and annotate an article that I'm reading on the web. Okay, so you could go to the Chrome store and look for the extension and add that in Chrome if that's the web browser you're using, or you can just come here, but you have to create an account first. So let me go ahead and log in, and it takes me sort of to my dashboard page, and I know that I've already done one annotation on this article, but now that I've got that queued up and ready and I'm logged in, I come on over and I'm back to this continuum of personalized learning. And with my Chrome extension, I'm going to click a little button there that turns on my hypothesis. And now I've got a couple of tools here that I didn't have before. I'm going to do that again so that you can see that I'm going to turn that off. And now let's turn that back on, and you can see I've got these tools. This little caret arrow is going to allow me to open up the box, gives me some instructions about how to get started, and this is where I'm going to be starting to add some annotations. All right. I've created a Learning Lab group for us, Learning Lab 2017, and you have a link to that. So instead of posting whatever annotations we're doing publicly so anybody who's on Hypothesis can see, I figured we would start to do that by going to the Learning Lab 2017. So I'm going to select Learning Lab 2017, which means anytime I add anything to this text, it's going to be shared within this group. Okay, so that's one of those things. Make sure that you're not in the public view, but you're in the Learning Lab view when you get started. Okay, I'm going to make that small again, and I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm reading along, and I come to a point where he has said something about hearing different definitions of the policy about personalized learning across the country, which isn't a surprise, and I might want to make a comment about that. Notice when I've selected the text, I can either highlight it or I can annotate it. So we're going to go ahead and annotate because that opens a new box, lets me know I'm here, and it gives me the text that I've highlighted, and now I'm going to go ahead and respond to that. So I can type away. Interesting, this definition dilemma across the country. Why I'm typing this is because I want to show you as well that it's not just typing text that you can do, but now that you've got a rich text editor, you can also add resources and insert a link if you'd like to. I found that there's a thing link that describes personalization that I'm going to share here because I think it would be interesting in the context of this conversation. And I could just go ahead and paste. No, that's not what I wanted to paste. Pardon me. I want to add a link to this thing link. And so the way that thing links work is I've got an image here, and the school is defining the principles of personalized learning. And in each one of the categories, they link out to a definition from another article and then a video. And I think it's an interesting way to see how, first of all, personalization is defined by these categories, and then seeing some of them in action is kind of a neat thing too. So if I wanted to share that with you guys here in Hypothesis, let me just actually see if I can highlight it. And let's go ahead and add that link. Oh my goodness gracious, I keep doing that same thing. Let me do it again, grab the link here. Thanks for bearing with me. And then it's posting, it's showing me that it's posting to the Learning Lab site, and that's definitely what I want to do. And now that link is right there for anybody who's coming in to read this annotation. We can go ahead and click on there and be taken out to where I wanted to show them. So if we're all together, all 15 or 16 of us reading this, when we come in and we turned on our hypothesis, we should be able to come along and see that there are a number of yellow highlighted sections. And when we click on it, you'll see the comments stacked up here. So I'm hoping that makes sense. Again, you come to Hypothesis, create an account. I'm going to suggest that people go ahead and add the Hypothesis annotation link, Chrome extension right there. I think that makes the most sense. And then go ahead and annotate away. Let me know if I can help you out as you jump into this collaborative conversation with this, I think, interesting blog post.